Hey everyone, it's Jason Pannone, Head of Reference and Cultural Assets Manager here at the East Hartford Public Library. Just wait as I adjust the old hat. Welcome back. In this installment of Raiders of the Lost Archive, I am going to show you this neat little pocket diary that I found in our collection. It's from the year 1864. It's really neat. It's leather, pages inside, and I'm going to open it up and show you what's inside of it. This was owned by looks like an E.S. Richards of West, I think that's Goshen, Connecticut. Somebody can decipher that a little better than I am. And it's really neat in that it shows you all sorts of little bits of history and such from the year 1864. So if you wanted to know how long it would take to get from New York City to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's 443 miles. It would take you 18 and a half hours to get there. And there's lists of all sorts of railroad times from New York to cities across the country, or at least in the eastern part of the country, because remember, the Transcontinental Railroad wasn't built until after the Civil War in 1869. It was completed. So this was only basically through out to Missouri, and looks like to Wisconsin, Indiana, places like that, Michigan. Some other cool things like bills of exchange, stamp duties, important things if you're a businessman or a merchant. Other things like an almanacs, differences of time, tides, moon charts, how many Sundays are in a year, things like that. It also gives times for when sunrise and sunset, and remember, this is in the days before daylight savings time and things like that, so it's really neat, and a difference of standardized time. I know I saw back here, let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, difference in time. So if you look right here, you can see that if it's New York, in Boston, it's 12 minutes ahead. So even though nowadays we'd say everybody's Eastern time, it's 12 o'clock in Boston, it's 12 o'clock in New York. That wasn't the case, that they allowed for a difference based on distance. So really neat kind of way that how people looked at time back in the day. And then you get into Mr. Richards' diary. And it's just a daily diary. You could write in, there's a page for each day, although sometimes he does go over into the next pages. And some of these are really neat because they talk about, weather phenomena, history events, just even daily life. Little diaries like this are gold mines of information about daily life during a certain year or period of time. Often you can learn quite a bit about a period just from reading one of these. And then also in the back, there's cash accounts. So how much money did he receive? As you know, as a very practical Yankee, keeping your account. Again, lots of good economic data in here. People mine this stuff all the time just to get a sense of local economies and what people were buying back in the day. It gives us a better sense of the deeper context of history and stuff that sometimes gets ignored outside of the glitz and glamour of major events. And very neat, this has a little pocket in the back so you can stick stuff in it. And gentleman bought it from the Litchfield book and stationery store of Litchfield, Connecticut. H. Marsh, proprietor. It's in the back. This is a really neat item. I know I flipped through these before. This is 1864, so this is during the Civil War. It would be neat to go through this and read this and say what's going on in the time and see if it's even reflected in the daily life. I opened up here to July 23rd, 1864, and Mr. Richards is thanking God because apparently they needed some rain. Must have been a farmer of some kind. So even though there was all sorts of battles and other stuff raging on, and the history of the nation being woven, he's just talking about an ordinary thing like farming and rain. So very cool, these little things like that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to take a look at it, you can always when we reopen, you can contact me and we can make arrangements to look at it. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Until then, practice safe social distancing, wear your masks, wash your hands often, and we'll see you then. Bye.